In this segment, we'll begin by installing the essential libraries for our EPUB to PDF converter. Open your terminal and use pip to install the ebook for reading EPUB files and ReportLab for creating PDFs. Once installed, we'll dive into reading the chapters of our EPUB. Using ebook, we'll extract the text and image content, ensuring we maintain the structure and flow, ready to be formatted for our PDF. Let's get started. Welcome to our tutorial on converting EPUB to PDF using Python. In this section, we'll start with the basics of EPUB and PDF formats and why you might want to convert between them. EPUB files are widely used for ebooks due to their flexibility and support for reflowable content, while PDFs are preferred for their consistent formatting across devices. To kick things off, we'll install the necessary libraries for handling EPUB and PDF manipulations. We'll use the ebook library to read EPUB chapters and the ReportLab library to create our PDF. Once we have our libraries set up, we'll delve into reading content, extracting images, and formatting everything for a polished final product. So let's jump in. In this scene, we'll focus on installing the necessary libraries for our EPUB to PDF converter project. First, open your terminal or command prompt and ensure you have Python installed. If you haven't done that yet, pause the video and check out how to install Python. Once Python is set up, we need two libraries, ebook for reading EPUB files and ReportLab for generating PDFs. To install these, type pip install ebook in your terminal and hit enter. That command fetches the EPUB library from the Python package index. Next, do the same for PDF creation by typing pip install ReportLab. That's it. Once both libraries are installed, we're ready to move on to reading EPUB chapters and extracting text and images. Now that we have our libraries installed, let's dive into reading the EPUB chapters. First, we need to open our EPUB file using the EPUB library. We'll use the EPUB read EPUB function to load our file. Once it's loaded, we can access the book's spine, which contains all the main content. We'll loop through these items and check if they are chapters, typically HTML files. For each chapter, we'll retrieve the content using the getBodyContentStr method, which gives us the text in a string format. It's important to handle any missing or malformed content gracefully, so we'll add a check to skip over any chapters that don't contain valid text. With that, we're ready to start extracting the essential parts of the book. Now that we've installed the necessary libraries, let's dive into extracting text and images from the EPUB file. First, we'll use the ebook library to read the EPUB chapters. We'll import the library and load our EPUB file, which allows us to access the book's content. As we iterate through the chapters, we can extract the text using simple string manipulation methods. For images, we'll look for the image files embedded within the EPUB. Using the same library, we can extract and save those images to our local directory. Remember to handle various formats like JPEG or PNG. As we go through this process, keep an eye on how we store the text and images for formatting into our PDF later on. This will ensure a smooth transition when we compile everything into the final document. Now that we have extracted text and images from the EPUB, it's time to format this content for our final PDF. First, we'll structure our text, ensuring chapter titles stand out by using a larger font size and bolding. We can apply consistent margins for a clean look and consider using bullet points for lists to enhance readability. For images, we'll maintain aspect ratios while resizing them to fit nicely within the page layout. Remember to add alt text for accessibility. You can use libraries like ReportLab to help with formatting, defining page size, font styles, and adding headers or footers. With everything organized, we're ready to generate our PDF in the next step. Now that we've formatted our content, it's time to generate the final PDF file. First, we'll use the ReportLab library, which is great for creating PDF documents in Python. We'll start by initializing a PDF canvas. This canvas is where we'll draw our content, page by page. Next, we'll loop through the chapters we previously extracted. For each chapter, we'll set up some margins and insert the text. Let's also remember to include images, as they play a crucial role in conveying information. As we add the images, we'll ensure they're resized appropriately to fit the page without losing quality. Once we've added all chapters, we'll save the PDF file. This step finalizes our document, allowing us to view it with any PDF reader. And just like that, we've created a handy, portable version of our EPUB content. Now, let's take a look at the final output. Now that we have everything set up, it's time to test our EPUB to PDF converter with a real EPUB file. Make sure you have a sample EPUB file ready to go, preferably one with rich formatting and images, so we can see how well our converter performs. First, place your EPUB file in the same directory as your Python script. Open your script in your text editor and locate the function we created for reading the EPUB content. Run the script and watch as it processes the chapters, extracting text and images. Be attentive to any errors in the console. These will help us troubleshoot if anything doesn't work as expected. Once the conversion completes, check the output PDF file and compare it to the original EPUB. Are the formatting and images preserved? This will give us valuable insight into the effectiveness of our converter. In this section, we're diving into building our plant identifier app using the Google Gemini API. First, we need to obtain our API key from the Google Cloud Console. Once we have that, let's set up the Python client. We'll install the necessary library using pip. After that, we can write a function to send an image of a plant to the Gemini API. Make sure to handle potential errors if the image isn't clear or recognizable. Once we get the response back, we'll parse the data to extract the plant's name and other relevant details. Finally, we'll create a simple interface that allows users to upload an image and see the identification results seamlessly. In this recap, we've covered essential steps for converting EPUB to PDF, from installing libraries to generating your final document. You've learned how to read EPUB chapters, extract text and images, and format them properly. Next, we'll shift gears to building a plant identifier app using the Google Gemini API. You'll get to know how to obtain an API key, set up the Python client, and handle responses effectively. Let's dive into the next module and start creating something exciting.